Like we always do at this time. Audio right now. I think we're good now. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It's Jamil Jude, artistic director at True Colors Theater Company, and most importantly, the host of the True Colors podcast. I hope you all are doing so well out there, wherever you are in this world. Welcome to the True Colors podcast. This is episode number 52. Let me flip it around. 52. Y'all, we've been doing this for 52 weeks. I think they've all been consecutive. So this is 1 year that we've been doing it. If we missed a week, this is now just a little bit over a year that we have been doing this podcast. And man, I am so thankful that all of you all have decided to rock with us over the course of this last year as we've been putting together. Man, y'all know that if there's time at the end, I want to talk about all the things that are happening. That's why I'm wearing my Minnesota shirt. I want to shout out to the folks over at Minnesota. You know, that's my former home, where I really grew up as an artistic leader and artistic maker. So I want to shout that out. I also want to give a quick shout out to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Y'all, I just got back from vacation, so I am rocking vacation beer, vacation hair. So that's why I got the hat on. But I wanted to make sure that I represent for the folks. So I hope y'all don't apologize for the little bit of informal nature. Today, on today's podcast, we are representing for Atlanta, Georgia, and all of the students who have competed in the Atlanta Regional for the August Wilson Monologue Competition. We want to celebrate them. They're going to go on to compete in the Nationals on May 3rd. Let me give you a quick background. 14 years ago, Todd Kryler, Kenny Leon, Dr. Chandrika Moss, under the True Colors umbrella said, hey, let's find a way where we can get high school students introduced to contemporary Black playwrights. August Wilson had just passed, and Todd and Kenny had a really great relationship with August Wilson, so they sought to dedicate the competition to him. Using works from his Century Cycle, they started with one high school here in Atlanta and now has expanded to 19 cities all across the nation under the True Colors banner, supporting this high school monologue competition. Since it started in True Colors and it started in Atlanta, I have a special feeling for our Atlanta folks that have gone on to win the national competition. And since this is a True Colors and Atlanta focused podcast, I want to make sure that we bring those students to you all here today. So I have 4 students that I want to introduce you all to, and we are going to go ahead and get it started, y'all. So thank you again for rocking with us. The first student that I'm going to bring on is Taloria Merricks. So let's go ahead and bring Taloria on, that y'all get a chance to meet.
Taloria is representing for Atlanta. So this year for the national competition, we have a mix of our 2020 winners and our 2021 winner. And Taloria is part of that 2021 class. What's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining me today on the podcast.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
So tell the folks a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, what high school you represent, and then also how you got into the arts.
I'm from Florida, but I really spent most of my life here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Shout out to Florida. I'm from Florida too.
Oh, okay. What part?
Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay, I'm from Jacksonville.
Okay, Duval. I see.
Yeah. So, I represent Brookwood High School. I go to Brookwood High School since like freshman year, and yeah, I mean, how I got interested in the arts. Well, I had a really close friend. She's actually in here, actually.
Okay.
I had a close friend who wanted me to sign up for theater in like the 9th grade. We were signing up for classes for high school. And I just wanted to have a class with my friend. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. But I wasn't really thinking about, signing up for a theater class. I was just like, I'm going to have a class with my friend. But when I actually joined that class, I was like, oh my God, this is something that I'm really into. And I would do this for the rest of my life. And so that's how I got interested into the arts area.
Good, man. Yeah. A good friend that introduced you to something that you can practice for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And so you had the opportunity to compete. Was this your first year competing with us?
No, it's my 4th year.
Yeah, man.
I've been competing since freshman year.
And which monologues have you used over the last couple of years?
This is my 3rd time using Vera
Mm-hmm.
from 7 Guitars, and then I remember like either it was sophomore or junior year I used Louise from 7 Guitars one of those years. And I got to the semifinals. I got to the semifinals.
But and this year you've broken through. What does it feel like being on the cusp of the national finals?
It's so surreal. When I was watching the finals, I really was not thinking that I was going to win. In fact, we had to do a pre-recording. It's a lot different this year than how it was the other years.
Don't give away all the special sauce now.
But when we did the pre-recording, I was just like, I'm just gonna do it, and I blocked it out of my mind. But when I found out that I won, I was just like, I was shocked. I was just like, oh my gosh, wow. I still can't believe it. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you. I think your story is one of like perseverance and consistency, right? You said that this is your 4th year competing and you've made it to the semifinals, but now you get the chance to represent Atlanta here on the national finals. So for the weekend, May 1st to May 3rd, at True Colors, we have put together like a panel of greats, August Wilson luminaries like Felicia Rashad and Ruben Santiago Hudson. You'll get an opportunity to meet Joaquina Calacango, who was Tony nominated. She was the first person to ever win the August Wilson Monologue competition out of Tri-Cities High School. What does it mean for you to have an opportunity to spend a weekend with some of these luminaries, just learning more about yourself and getting involved in seeing what you can be as an artist?
I have no words. I'm ready to really just soak in everything and learn, really. I feel like I can learn so much from these individuals and learn so much from that whole weekend. I feel like it will make me a better artist, a better creator, and a better actor, a better filmmaker. And all these areas in my life can be filled in that weekend, and I'm just excited for it. I'm really excited.
Well, you are a reason why we do this, right? We, of course, we love August Wilson and we love the competition, but what we really love is the opportunity to give back to you all. You're a next generation of artists that are going to go on to do whatever, whether it be in the art world or whether it be outside of that. Can you tell the people, what are your dreams, man? What do you want to go out and do? Is it art? Is it other things? What do you want to study when you go to college? Because you're about to head out, right?
I am. Huh? Thank you, God.
You did it. You did it. You did it.
Yeah, I'm a senior this year. It's crazy. But my goals, and I really want to do something. My dream is to be on Broadway. That's like
yes.
That's like where I really want to do what I really want to do. So anywhere towards that path is where I'm gonna do. And also I want to study some stuff behind the scenes, figure out how to get into like cinematography and filmmaking and directing and stuff like that. Not just like, I feel like it's such, oh, my battery. Okay, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
But I feel like it's such a benefit, and it's so important to not only be in front of the camera, but also learn what it's like behind the camera. And so that's something I really want to get into. And when I'm actually gonna go to college to major in musical theater, so that's where I'll be heading next year. And so yeah, that's really my goal, just to learn as much as I can and do anything that's creative. And that's how I will be successful. I will feel successful with myself. So
well, yeah. We're really excited that True Colors and the competition can play a small part in you on your springboard to your career. Like I said, next weekend, May 1st through the 3rd, you're going to have the opportunity to meet a lot of Broadway veterans and a lot of people who have spent time on both sides of the camera, both as actors, but also as content creators. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you ask as many questions as you can. Really, get the most out of this weekend because this is what this is all about. Taloria, while I have you, y'all, today one of my guests is Taloria Merricks, who is representing Atlanta as she goes on to compete for the national August Wilson Monologue competition title here on Monday, May 3rd. That is in a couple of weeks from now. Right now, man, especially after the George Floyd decision that we just received a couple of days ago, but really over the last year or so, we have had this hyper focus on the ways in which America hasn't lived up to its stated values. And we talk a little bit about radically reinventing the way in which we interact with each other. How can we be better? How can police be better for communities? How can we be better for one another? How do we stop Asian hate? As you in your time in high school, but also as you go on to college, man, how are you thinking about your relationship to the world, and what do you want to see differently in your community?
Well, growing up in a predominantly white community and institution, I guess, I experienced a lot of firsthand ignorance and racism, and that's kind of something that led me to the arts as well, because I feel like I might not always be politically correct or have the smarts, but art is a way for me to express how I'm feeling in this area. And so one of the things that I tried to do is post on my social media a lot. I tried to create a Black student union at my high school, which is an area.
Oh, y'all, let me know, is it on my end or is it on Taloria's end? Are you all still connected? Please type in the comments. Yeah, if you guys are out there, let me know if you can hear me. Check in with me. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. Check in with me to know if we are all still connected. We lost Taloria, so let's see. She is frozen. All right, thanks, Erica. But know if y'all can hear me. Oh man, we were just getting into the heat of our conversation with one of our winners, Taloria Merricks, who is going to go on to represent Atlanta. She was just in the middle of speaking about how she has done some amazing work starting a Black student union at her high school, and how she wants to just use her artistry and just her voice to speak up and create more space for people that oftentimes feel like they don't. If we get her back on a little bit later at the end, there's some time at the end. So if she's still available, we'll try to bring her back on. So Taloria, if you're here, go ahead and just type in the chat. Let me know that you're still here, and we'll bring you on at the end so we can finish that conversation with you. But we were getting so good, man. Y'all, like I tell you, what the great thing about this high school monologue competition at True Colors that we've been running now for 14 years is not just the artistry. The talent of the students, man, is always amazing and always impressive. But what I'm most excited by is that, they're going to go on to do other things other than act. And really, this generation right now is so inspiring in the way in which they are leaning into the inclusivity of this moment and finding ways in which they can be better students, better observers, better supporters of the movements right now. So I'm really happy that Taloria started mentioning that. And again, we'll try to bring you back. Hey, Taloria, I'm going to move on to Caleb. But if you are available, and let me know, just type it here in the comment section. If you can stick around to about 1:45, we'll try to get you back on. Okay, but I'm sorry that we got disconnected. But let me go ahead and bring on our next guest, Mr. Caleb Baumann. Caleb is representing us here in Atlanta as well, and really excited to talk to him as part of this. What's up, Caleb? How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Hey, so let's go ahead and get started at the top. Tell people a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what got you into the arts.
Yeah. Hey everyone. I'm Caleb Baumann. I've been acting for 8 years. That makes me seem old, but I'm not. I just started taking classes at a theater, and it was actually acting one. And it just so happened that in the class, I was with the niece of the artistic director of that theater. And during the little showcase at the end, the artistic director liked me and asked if I could audition for their professional play that they did every year.
Wow.
So I did it, and I got it, which I didn't think I would do. And that's really where I fell in love with the arts and acting. And from that moment on, I knew I wanted to pursue this path, and I made a tight bond with her. So one thing led me to the next, and that's how I got here.
Well, Caleb, I was very impressed with the way you competed this year. Is this your first year competing with us?
No, it's a cool 14 years. My first year, yeah.
Yeah. And you made it very far. You made it to the Atlanta finals, and you were our first runner-up. So for those of you all who don't know how the Atlanta regional works, that the first two-place winners go on to compete, and then in the chance that they can't make it, we have someone like Caleb, very talented, like Caleb, who fills in their place. Caleb, man, so this is your first year competing, and I hope that we get more opportunities to see your work. What did you learn from this experience, just about your own preparedness, readiness, and your ability, because it really came across on the camera.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been for me. It's been super, super informational. The coaches were super great and super helpful throughout the whole experience and the one-on-ones we had. And it was so cool to see also the advice they had for other people, because it's a great way of learning, not just from advice from yourself, but learning from other people as well, and what uh, advice they have for them. And as a newcomer to August Wilson, and or performing August Wilson rather, I learned there's a certain rhythm to it, which I never knew or thought about. And there's a formula to it, and just working on that with the coaches and perfecting it, performing it while I'm performing, sorry, was super, super great, and something I will remember for a long time.
Yeah, what monologue did you choose,
I
and why?
Right. So the monologue I chose originally, because it was out of two, I was gonna do Ma Rainey, and I did it a couple of times, and I decided to switch it, um, which I just switched it because I felt like it was more suited to what I was doing. And I did a Harmon Wilkes and Rachel Golf. Um, and Harmon, because I read the whole story beforehand, was someone that I thought I could tackle. And the interesting thing about my monologue was that it wasn't just all drama, drama, drama. It was funny too, and it was like a weird funny, because I was talking about racism while I was making jokes about uh, uh, how ignorant they are. So that's
Right.
I thought it was super, super cool to do.
Well, you know, the thing I love about that Harmon Wilkes monologue that you did, and just as we talk about how Black art is often portrayed, you know, we do that. Like, that's what Black art does. We
Right,
this season at True Colors, we call it our joy and pain season, because we can talk about things as painful and as harmful as racism, but we can find ways to do it in levity and comedy that allows us to poke holes and kind of laugh, like, yeah, hey, racism sucks. And
right.
also, you know, we can we're smart enough to be able to poke holes at it and not just be so dour about it all. Talk to me, Caleb, a little bit about how this experience has helped you further your educational or artistic goals. What do you want to do through the art, and through this experience? Kind of what has it unlocked for you?
Right. Well, I started doing theater in 2016, and I always learned so much from castmates and directors over the years, and they made me always feel more confident in the way I performed, and it showed me that this was something I could actually do, and pursue. And in this experience, I hadn't really I've always just acted, and I thought that was it. But again, with the formula, it's more to just acting than scream, cry, laugh. It's more. And this experience was so great for that. It was very technical. And again, the coaches were absolutely incredible. I would not be how far I got in the competition if not for them. And then in 2018, 2019, I went kind of in a different direction. I started to pursue film and TV, which is so completely different from theater, and which is why also this experience was also very, very cool and nostalgic, because I hadn't done it in a minute. I've always watched theater, and I've always read it in the time I wasn't doing it, but it was cool to go back to my roots and learn even more about it.
Well, I really hope that you go on and compete for a while, because your voice and your talent definitely has shined through this experience, and we can't wait to see what you bring back to us in the years to come. Caleb, I'd love for you all just to, I'd love for you after I reintroduce you to the folks who are just joining y'all. This is Caleb Baumann. He is one of our finalists for the Atlanta August Wilson Monologue competition. A really outstanding young man who brought to life Harmon Wilkes during our virtual competition last month. Caleb, what was it like to spend this time just learning from a Black theater company about a Black playwright? Has that been something that you've had much work with through your high school experiences and in other times, or was this really like your way to get introduced to their work in a more fulfilling way?
Yeah, it was definitely more fulfilling. My community around theater has I haven't been exposed to much of the Black theater community with True Colors and all that, and it was super inspirational for me, honestly, and and very empowering also as well, and yeah, I'd never seen anything like that before, and I don't know if I can say exclusively like one thing that was super amazing because all of it was. So yeah.
No, it's all good, man. Like this is why I love that program. This is why I love the work that we get to do
Right.
because of these types of moments. You know, I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida, where the city was pretty split, black and white. I went to a Black high
Right.
school, but like I didn't have the access to the art, so I didn't really get a chance to put it together. Being around Black communities, but also being around Black communities in the art. So we're really happy that we're able to connect you to that.
Yeah, and in my high school and middle school, I didn't have drama at all.
Mm-hmm.
There was no drama class, no drama section. There was nothing. And I'm so happy that the theater brought this passion to me. And if I would have never have gone to that acting one class, I would not be where I am today.
Right, man. Well, thank you for that. Caleb, we're going to get you out on this last thing, man. There are
Cool.
so many reasons to be sad. You know, we talked about joy and pain, and there's so many reasons to kind of sit in that pain spot. But we believe it's an act of revolution to seek out joy, even when the world around us wants to bring about our pain. What type of things are bringing you joy these days, my friend?
These days, I have to say my craft. While the world is very unsteady and unpredictable, I know that I can have faith in my art and representing characters that need their story told. And I also love my 4 dogs.
Hey man, oh man, like I had a puppy growing up, and I can't wait to have another dog growing up, man. So dogs give me a lot of joy too, brother. So thank you for bringing that to us. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. Thank you for being part of the competition this year. And like I said, brother, I cannot wait to see what you do with some new monologues coming up next year. Much love to you, man, and can't wait to have this conversation with you again next year, as I'm sure you'll be one of our finalists again.
Yeah, man, it was great talking to you. Thank you.
All right, Caleb. Thanks again.
All right.
Y'all, again, like I said, y'all know I always say every week, man, like I love this guest and I love talking, but man, the young people and their way that they are inspired by the work of our organization of True Colors, how we are introducing to students in high school the love for Black storytelling, the love for craft, the love for community, and finding a way for it to live at the intersection of artistic excellence and civic engagement. We just heard from Caleb in the ways in which he has been invigorated by learning from these Black master artists. We also heard from Taloria about how she is taking on the mantle and driving forward with creating a Black student union at her high school. We were unfortunately cut off with Taloria, so we'll hope to get her back at the end. But for the competition this year, y'all know this time last year with the students, man, when we had them on, we were so excited to get them ready for a New York experience. And unfortunately, the pandemic shut all that down. But we were able to pivot online last year, but we just kind of gathered the students for classes and workshops and things like that. But this year, we're able to bring not just the 2021 students who won, but the 2020 students back to have them for a chance to compete. So I want to reintroduce you all to some of our 2020 students. And the first one up is going to be Mr. Julius Shanks. Julius is representing the greater Atlanta region. We're gonna say greater because we lump in our friends down in Alabama into the Atlanta region because they don't yet have a regional representative. What's up, Julius? How are you, man?
Good, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right, man. It's so good to see you. Thanks for coming back to the August Wisdom Law competition. But for people who did not get a chance to check out you on the podcast last year, let's talk a little bit about who you are, where you're from, who you're representing, and how you got into the arts.
Yes, sir. So my name is Julius Shanks. I am from Montgomery, Alabama,
Big up.
reside in Birmingham, Alabama, going to the Alabama School of Fine Arts, and I am representing Atlanta Regionals competition through the True Colors Theater and Miss Nikki Toombs because just connecting with her at the Alabama School of Fine Arts doing a workshop, she inspired us so much that we could not pass up the opportunity to just jump into this competition. And so I've been in the competition 3 years now, won my second year, and then going back my third year by the grace of God through everything that's going on. So it's a blessing in disguise, actually. And so that is me. I'm doing Toledo's monologue from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And yes.
Yeah, Julius, man. So what has the experience shifted for you? Like getting into the arts, what were what has being involved in the arts unlocked for you? Like, do you feel more confident in yourself? Like, what is it about the arts?
I'll say it like I said on my college applications. I believe that theater is an art form that everyone needs. It's giving me stage presence. It's giving me my voice to how to, just speak to people. It's giving me confidence in myself because if you can't get out there and do what you got to do, won't nobody watch it. If you,
Right.
They don't want to see it. And so theater has unlocked so much inside of me to just be able to do everything besides not just acting, but getting up in front of people and speaking at church or going to a rally and being able to use my voice to writing poetry, to writing plays. It's my voice, and it's allowed me to unlock it in several different ways.
Well, Julius, even seeing the growth in you, man, just from last year to this year has been amazing. And we're really thankful that True Colors got a chance just to play even a small role in you, just like you said, unlocking your voice, man, feeling more confident and growing in that. And we know that, I am an older Black man compared to you, but still a relatively young Black man. But like, man, that confidence is going to take you far, brother. And I'm so happy, so excited for you. And what that can be as you lean into your artistic and educational goals. Julius, what do you want to do? What do you want to be as you see the rest of your life ahead of you?
Yes, sir. So I want to uplift and educate and inspire the youth in a positive light, using my voice. And so whether that is producing, directing, writing, and even acting in the things that I create, I want to use it as a way for the world to see African Americans in a different way than what we're portrayed right now. And I believe that the problem is we look at TV right now and not necessarily everything that we see gives young people encouragement. It's, I want to create something that I wouldn't mind my little brother watching and saying, hey, I can do that, or I can be there. And so that's just my long-term goal, no matter what through life, being able to create and inspire another generation to do what we set out to do.
Yo, my guest right now, one of my guests right now, this is their guest today as we've been showcasing all of the Atlanta winners who are going to go on to compete for the title, the August Wisdom Law competition title on Monday, May 3rd. This is Mr. Julius Shanks, the inspiring Mr. Julius Shanks. He's just been lifting us up, just encouraging us just on how he's found his voice through the arts and what he wants to do with it. Julius, man, one of the things that I've been most interested in with my artistic practice is finding ways to connect artistic excellence to civic engagement. And that means really like finding ways to lean into the things that are happening in the moment. Being from Alabama and seeing the ways in which Black communities have persevered, especially in Birmingham and in Montgomery. You're really in the seat of some of the civil rights struggles of the last 50 years. Can you talk a little bit about, man, now being a child of those eras and you walking into your own civil rights movement, man, what are you hoping for over the next 50 years to contribute in a fight towards equality and more inclusivity?
Personally, my goal is to transform from a student into a teacher and to become an advocate through what I do and a leader in everything that I do. And so I think that, you know, some people, it's necessary to have a crowd and to have a following. You know, we can't get anything done if we don't have anyone who's willing to work with it. But I believe I've been blessed in a way that I can use my voice and all the encouragement that I have within myself that God's given me to not just be a follower, but be a leader as well. And so my goal is to take all of that I know what's inside of me and put Alabama on the map for something more than just racism. And put Birmingham and Montgomery on the map for you know, more than just when you think of Southern people. I want to show them that we have some of the best talented Black artists that are in the U.S. and we just been yet to be exposed. And I think that being able to use my voice in that sense will take a whole different route to clearing up the racism of what you see in the South.
Man, Julius, if y'all aren't excited about what's to come with this young man, I hope that was just a little bit of the preview about what's can do. Julius, man, I want you to close your eyes for me real quick, and I want to talk about just this idea of radical reinvention. When we think about, you spoke so eloquently about putting Alabama on the map for something more than racism, and I want you to close your eyes and then speak with us and tell us what it is that you see when you start thinking about what your community could look like. Who is there? What are you doing to play a role in it? Yeah, just kind of share that visual with folks.
Well, I've never even closed my eyes and think about this. I've never, you know, took the time to really see what it is that I want to do, just knowing what it is I want to accomplish. And I believe closing my eyes to see that, I just see change in all aspects, really starting with education. I think that's the forefront and most important thing that we must start with, because that's the root and foundation for everything to stem from. And I think that Alabama being so behind in resources and funding and communities, you can definitely see in the school systems which communities are helped the most, which communities are not helped the most. I definitely see a change within building up communities, building up the elementary schools, the middle schools, show this art that I love so much and what it's done for me. Being able to find my voice at such a young age has blessed me. And I know that is the radical reinvention that we desperately need to show people that, let's just say, to show African Americans that we don't just need football, basketball, you know, for as our way and our escape. You don't have to be on the screen as your way and your escape. But the reinvention is knowing that no matter what you do behind the scenes, behind the camera, off the court, off the field, you can still change everything around you.
Man, Julius, man, I'm really excited to talk to you. I'm really excited about what lies ahead of you. This conversation has brought me joy, but I do want to find out, man, what things are bringing you joy? We know it's an active revolution to be joyous in times where the world suggests that we should be feeling otherwise. What types of things are bringing you joy these days, my friend?
Just working to accomplish the goals that I have to accomplish. It's stressful and it's been a long month. It's been a long year. It's been a long 2 years. But working to just keep going, to see the change, to inspire others. It's been the fuel. It's been the fire underneath me to keep going, to see that at the end of the day, even when I'm stressed out, I'm still making an impact through whether it's my social media, through whether it's the following, through whether it's just me walking down the hallway and having a smile on my face. It's been able to keep me going. It's been able to drive me to not stop. You know, that's just simply it, to not quit doing what it is that we all must do to keep the world going.
Man, Julius, I'm so happy for you. I can't wait to whatever college you go to. They're going to immediately have a leader on their campus. Thank you for representing not just Alabama, but of course the Atlanta region here for the national finals on Monday, May 3rd, man. Wishing you the best of luck. Good luck to you, and we'll talk again soon, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. You know, I always love it, and I'm always here to help True Colors Theater.
Thanks, brother. Y'all, that was Julius Shanks, one of 4 students going on to represent Atlanta here in the competition. We heard earlier from Taloria Merricks. We got a chance to chat with Caleb Baumann. We just wrapped up with Julius, and now we're going to bring on our final finalist. We saved in the world when we say the best for last, and we had an opportunity, we're going to represent Miss Taylor because she has done some really, really great work as well. So let's go on and bring on Taylor Jackson, who is from our 2020 class. Taylor had an opportunity, just like Julius, to represent Alabama. Taylor, what's going on? How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, doing all right. Taylor, for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, what got you involved in the arts, where you're from, and yeah.
Okay, hey y'all, I'm Taylor Jackson. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm representing as well as Julius, the Alabama School of Fine Arts. I got into acting when I was younger. I went to a performing arts middle school, now performing arts high school, and I plan to stay in it.
That's good stuff. So, you have been involved with the arts for so long, and now you get an opportunity to go and represent your city, your state, and of course the Atlanta region here on the Nationals weekend. We talked a little bit about some of the people that you'll get. You'll be a part of a panel about choosing your college choice. You'll hear from people who have worked on both sides of the Broadway stage, both as actors and directors and producers. You're going to have an opportunity to continue to work on your monologue and master classes and things like that. What are you hoping to get out of the weekend before the competition?
Honestly, just networking. I feel like that's really important with the industry that we're both in. I want to network, learn a bit more technique, and definitely, especially with the special guests that are going to be there. I don't know if I can say it. Can I say it?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Viola Davis, I just being, even though I won't be in their physical presence, I feel like those women are just so strong and absolutely strong role models with what I'm hoping to do in my life and the message I want to send out to young Black girls and Black boys. And so just hearing them understanding what maybe their headspace when it comes to August Wilson and just being a part of that, I think that's gonna make a big mark on my heart.
Talk to us a little bit, Taylor, about what this last year has been, having competed live and in person, and then the pandemic shut it down. What has it been like for you over the last year, moving to virtual instruction, just not only for your schoolwork, but for life? Like, talk to us a little bit about how the pandemic has affected you.
Well, honestly, it's been tough because I'm one of those people, I like to be on the go. I like to be in person. I feed off other people's energy. And so it's been a tough transition, but I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my artistry. Like, for example, even though we can't do in-person auditions and things like that, just taking the time with the instructors, because I feel like since people aren't as much on the go, you can take more one-on-one time and kind of be more present, but instead of focusing on what you have to do next.
Right.
And so I definitely think I've got intimate instruction. I was talking about in my last interview how I got to do a global leadership expedition. And so just being able to be a part of organizations that usually travel, it's more like intimate now, being able to and not having to necessarily go to where you need to learn. Just it's like all the knowledge is kind of here in my room or in my bedroom, wherever I am.
Right. You get all that information right there to you. I want to just quickly shout out DJ DeWitt, who's representing for Alabama. He's definitely celebrating Birmingham, and of course, Director of Education Nikki Toombs is from Birmingham. So we got a lot of love for BHAM out here. Taylor, one of the things that I've been really excited by for the pandemic, like you mentioned, having access to a whole lot of people, and you don't have to leave your room. But, at some point the world will open back up. What are you looking forward to with the things that you have learned, not just from this last year, but also your involvement in the competition over the last 2 years? How do you see those things playing out to the person that you will be and what you aspire to do when the world opens back up?
Well, I'm about to get ready to go to college. I can't say where I'm going yet, but
it's all good.
I'm definitely excited to take the knowledge of knowing that no matter where I'm going, there is a place for me, especially with doing August Wilson, just how important it is of my story to share with other people that are willing to accept it or even opening to listen. And so, like Julius was saying, like the certain confidence you're given when you're in spaces where Black people are appreciated. So I definitely plan on taking that confidence with me to college and sharing it to maybe girls or boys that don't feel that way yet. So yeah, that's mostly what I plan on, you know, giving off in my next chapter of life.
Yeah, man. Well, we can't wait to learn about what's next for you in your artistic career and what college you go. And we definitely know that you're going to get that school's going to get an instant leader on this campus. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing that I asked Julius to do. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think a little bit about radical reinvention. When we talk about radical reinvention, we talk about, man, like, let's break all the rules as we know that what's currently the space that we're currently living in, whether we're talking about America writ large, whether we're talking about our local communities, it isn't working the way it should. So when we talk about radical reinvention, we talk about breaking the rules and using our wildest imagination to create an environment in which we can all thrive in. As you think about that and you think about breaking the rules and creating a space that you can thrive in, Taylor, share with the people about what you see in your mind's eye.
Well, honestly, I really feel like it begins with yourself. I feel like, the dedication, the discipline that comes into creating who you want to be. I think that is the only way. And I'm speaking for Black people. I will say
Sure,
that.
for sure.
I think that is the only way we can prevail in these times. I think just also when it comes to parenting, just instilling in our people that we are worthy, we are enough no matter where we go. And I was having a intimate conversation with Miss Toombs, who is the education director for those who don't know. And we were just talking about how in some places as a Black person, you might feel the need to shrink yourself. And so I definitely think this is where the art comes in, like when you study August Wilson, there is no weak woman. There is no room for someone to be shrunk. Like, for example, I am Bernice from the piano lesson. That's the monologue I'll be doing. And just how strong you fight, how no, even when we're talking about Rose from Fences, just how strong the fight is, and just giving your all and being passionate about what you're doing. And I think if we really focus on ourselves and building who we are and our character, and that also leads to community, having like-minded people, wanting more for our people, in the industry, more inclusiveness. If we just do that, I feel like those small steps will make the world of the difference, because I feel like it's so overwhelming, rightfully so, because we want to see the end. We want to see the end of all the shootings, all the racism. But I feel like if we focus more on, okay, get your mind together, like take the steps, communicate, network with people, make these connections, whether it be, work relations, or familial relationships, just building. I feel like if we get our foundation, because I feel like that's kind of missing in some people. Like, if we get our foundation, I feel like the radical, all that, it'll come. I really do. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man. You start with self, and then you can expound out that. It's definitely one of the things in your control and kind of build out. Especially if we love ourselves and we learn love for our neighbor. It's hard to love other people if and when we don't love ourselves. Taylor, let's take you out on this. What is bringing you joy these days, my friend?
Definitely the sunshine. The weather. Wait, can you guys hear me? I see a loading sign. Is
We're
my connection?
we're back. We're back now.
Okay. The weather's getting a little hotter, so I'm loving that. Also, the fact that I'll be graduating in 29 days.
Okay, the countdown has started.
So much joy. And just knowing that this chapter of high school is closing and I'm getting closer to the woman that I'm becoming. It's exciting. And also my friends, like we hang out sometimes and we're all getting vaccinated. So it feels like things are kind of getting back to normal.
Right.
So that's bringing me a lot of joy.
Well, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Can't wait to see how you represent on the national stage here on May 3rd. I'm really thankful that you're going to be part of that weekend that True Colors has helped put together to celebrate all of the winners from the 16 different cities. Although we have 19 participating cities, only 16 cities are competing here. So I'm really excited for you, and best of luck. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Same to you. Yo, let's go ahead and bring back, because unfortunately she was cut short. Let's bring back Taloria, just so we have an opportunity to let her wrap up what she was saying, and then I'll spend the last couple minutes just reflecting on how we found ourselves here in this moment. Taloria, what's going on? Sorry about that. Sorry we had a little connection issue, but I'm so glad you were back with us. Before you got cut off, man, you were just talking about a little bit of how you are leaning into using your voice to speak up and create spaces that you want to thrive in. Talk a little bit about the work you're doing creating a Black Student Union at your high school, and just finish that thought.
Well, yeah, I was, creating a Black Student Union at my high school is one of the things I've tried to do during this pandemic and during this crazy time that happened since 2021. Way before that also. But creating a Black Student Union in my high school has been a way for me to allow other students and even myself to express how they're feeling during this time, because a lot of times we don't get that space to do that, and we experience a lot of burnout. And so that's also been something I've experienced as well during this whole thing, is that I've literally felt completely numb or burnt out from seeing every single day people of color being shot or killed, or experiencing police brutality, and it's really been hard. And so just providing that space, and also I've tried to make films and speak out on my social media, just use my creative juices and my gift to spread the word and spread awareness for this type of issue, especially it having to do with me, people who look like me, my family. And so yeah, that's been one of the things I've tried to do. Yes.
Well, I appreciate just how well you're speaking about it and speaking to it. Like we all see it, and acknowledging burnout is helpful, especially but being around friends. I have a mentor of mine. His name is Paul Robinson, and he talks about being surrounded by nutritious people who pour into us, who when we get burnt out can help us pick ourselves back up, and surround us with the love and care that we need to push through. Taloria, yeah, okay, you are doing this work to speak out against it, and you're trying to fight back against burnout. One thing we know that does that is joy. It's finding joy, finding things that we love, and being around loved ones. What's bringing you joy these days?
Family, hanging out with family and friends, I been doing YouTube for a long time, so just making videos, editing videos, and just sharing my day with people, or just even myself sometimes because no one watches. But YouTube videos, and then I go to church online, and and I've been doing some workshops as well to kind of just keep me prepared and sharpen my skills a little bit more. So yeah, that's what really brings me joy. Just, art, having fun with people who are around me, and yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for stopping by, bringing us a little joy on this day. I cannot wait to see how well you're going to do with this competition. So best of luck. Continue to work hard in those rehearsals up until then, and I'll talk to you again here in a few days. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks. All right. Thanks for sticking around. Yo, today I had an opportunity to speak to 4 dynamic students who are going to go on to represent the Atlanta region for the 14th annual August Wilson monologue competition. Like I mentioned, for those of you who didn't get a chance to start, True Colors founded this competition back 14 years ago in 2007. And have worked very diligently to find ways to connect students all across the country. We started in Atlanta, and now we have 19 regional partners who are all dedicated to celebrating Black playwrights, to giving Black storytelling to the next generation of students. And for the last 14 years, 14 to 20 years as a generation, we have inspired students to do that. I want to give a quick shout out again to Joaquina Calacango for being the first ever winner. We had Joaquina on a few weeks ago, but is also going to be one of the judges for the competition. So it's that really beautiful full circle way to wrap up a generation of work and of storytelling. And I'm really inspired by these students, as you could see that, hey, they are interested in the art, but what they find value in is learning from a Black theater company about the importance of Black storytelling, but also how to use their voice and their artistry to speak up and advocate for things that they want to see change. That's really the legacy of the competition. And that's what True Colors really leans into over the last 14 years, that we are not only inspiring artists, we are inspiring people who are going to make change in the community. And I can't wait to see what happens over the next 14 years as we continue to give to these students. And, you know, in a world that wants to to take away from the students, that wants to prevent opportunities for students to perform, to prevent students the opportunity to find their voice. True Colors is really proud of our history in giving to students. You know, as I wrap things up here, y'all, I just want to speak. I told y'all earlier at the beginning that I wanted to represent my Minnesota shirt because that community meant a lot to me. It is where I found my professional voice, where I learned really about what I could do as an advocate, as a producer, as an artist, as a director, to try to speak up for communities. Right now, you know, we want to be in a space where we acknowledge the difficulty of finding joy right now. It is difficult to feel relief in this moment of the verdict in the George Floyd case. I think the difficulty for me has been, well, we get to celebrate a man whose life was taken away from us, right? We get to celebrate the impact that Mr. Floyd's life has had on the world. But we are saddened the fact that we have to be here. And y'all, not even 24 hours later, we had to deal with the shooting of another unarmed Black person being shot and killed by the police, as we were already mourning the life of Dante Wright and Adam Toledo and countless others, especially Black trans women that we've lost so many. And we are still in a space where we are recognizing this, the anti-Asian violence in our community, y'all, and it's heavy. It's definitely heavy. But one of the things that we want to say is that, hey, with accountability comes possibility. When we hold people accountable, we get to see what justice can look like. Dr. Cornel West says that justice is what love looks like in public. And that's what we're all pushing for. And I want to just inspire all of us and remind all of us that the fight towards that is what we are all doing. And yes, we get tired, and yes, we get burnt out. The students, even today, even in their age, they told you, hey, man, sometimes I get tired, but they find ways to continue to lock in. And I just ask that we all continue to lock in. Let's not be so pessimistic that we miss the gift that this moment has brought us, but let us also not be so quick to be through with it that we forget how important it is for us to stay connected and for us to keep on advocating, pushing for, fighting for something better. I'm thankful for the platform that we have at True Colors, but I'm extremely thankful for the students that we get to serve, because they are the ones that you all heard it, man. Y'all heard 4 amazing, inspiring ass kids today. I'm sorry for cussing, but they gave me more life to go on and get ready to go and do this thing. That's what True Colors is looking to do with the high school monologue competitions that we have. And I'm so inspired by what the students brought to the live today and what they're going to go on to do with the rest of their artistic and just careers as people. And I'm inspired to that. So as we leave today, y'all, I want to tell y'all about a couple things coming up. One thing that we have talked about just with our education work is that Black and brown kids have a right to the arts and arts education. As we take arts out of schools, man, we are limiting the rights and access kids have to stage opportunities. Just to get the August Wilson Monologue competition to happen this year. So that right to the stage and the fight for Black and brown students is something that True Colors holds dear. And on April 29th at 7 p.m., we're going to host a community conversation where we talk about just the right to the stage, where we're going to have, led by Keith Arthur Bolden from Spelman, we're going to have folks from Freddie Hendricks, and we're going to have Angela Farr Schiller, we're going to have Dante Ramu, and others who are going to talk about what they are doing to make sure that our young people from middle school to high school to their college experience get access and introduction to the arts, because we know the importance that it can have. So come back, check us out on the 29th of April. That's really going to kick off our August Wilson Monologue Competition weekend. As I mentioned, these students are going to have an opportunity to sit and learn from Felicia Rashad and Ruben Santiago Hudson and Jason Durden and Joaquina Calacango and James A. Williams and Valerie Curtis Newton and Ken Matt Martin, amongst others, and just get to learn from them, Wayne Mengesha, man, Amelia Acosta Powell, just to talk about, what they can do with their voices in having a professional career. Even if they choose not to go into the arts, what can they do as artistically minded, civically engaged citizens? I'm excited by that. So that's going to be next weekend. So April 29th at 7 p.m. Come check us out for the community conversation where we talk about the right to the stage, access for our youth, and then witness how our students bring their best on Monday, May 3rd, for the August Wilson Monologue Competition, the 14th annual. We're so excited and proud of them. Red Velvet Brownies. We talked to Adaye Moon, the first ever New Play Commission Fellow at True Colors. That piece is going to be presented soon, and very soon after we get past that youth weekend. We're going to release that out there. We have so many other things coming up, y'all. We have a Mother's Day concert that we're going to do, concert for unity that we're doing in conjunction with the Atlanta Opera. We have a partnership coming up where we're going to talk about sacred versus secular music. Y'all know at True Colors that we have tried to continue to bring you all top level content in the midst of the pandemic. So we're so thankful for your continued support. Check us out. All these things are on Instagram, but we can't wait to see you next week for the podcast, but also next week, Thursday, for the community conversation. I love you all. Be safe. Be kind to one another. We're still in a pandemic. Wear your mask. I want to encourage you all to get vaccinated. I am officially fully vaccinated as of today. I got my 2 shots 2 weeks ago. So I'm excited to be part of that population that is trying to help rid this thing. I'm not going to get into a debate about science and things like that, just asking everybody to do their part, whether it's just consistently wearing your mask if you choose not to get vaccinated, but even if you get vaccinated, still wear your mask. Let's still reduce this spread so that we can get back to live gatherings, man. We can get back to doing the thing that we do most and do best as live theater makers. So like I said, be safe, be kind to one another. Let's take the moment to reflect on what accountability looks like and continue to push each other so that we can practice love in public, which is what justice looks like. Thanks to Dr. Cornell West. I appreciate you all for rocking with us. See you all next week. Be safe. Shout out to Cafe Apple Cider Incorporated. All right, see y'all later.